Hey you guys, it's Moody here, and it's been a while since I actually recorded a new match. So this is a semi-old match that I had on Chase's stream a couple weeks ago. And if you haven't heard, I did stream this past weekend because I got my Wi-Fi situation fixed and all. So that's a wonderful improvement. I get to battle people again. So I can't even talk. I'm so sorry. I've also got a little setup video that I'm gonna post later on, which is basically what kind of computer I have, what kind of programs I use and whatnot. So I'm also gonna be making a video on how, I do everything, because I have people still asking me, and I feel like my last video on this wasn't that clear. So anyway, I've got a Little Cup match. I know it's been a while, and some of you are like, where the hell is the Little Cup? What's wrong with you, Alina, or Moody, or whatever you guys choose to call me? So I do have a bunch of kind of random Pokemon. I honestly took whatever I had in my party at the time and just chose to go and battle Chase because he promised me he'd battle me, and we all know Chase loves Little Cup, and it's totally his guilty pleasure. So I do lead off with my Mienfoo because I'm Scarfed. I feel like I can easily U-turn out, go into an appropriate Pokemon with whatever he has out. So I thought he was going to go for the Brave Bird. He ends up going for the U-turn as well, which is perfectly fine because my Bronzer is defensive, so I'm not going to take that much damage from it, which I'm happy with. I do switch out because I think I was fearing him being Spexed possibly and just going for a Water move. Or I guess he decided to go for a Thunderbolt. And I went into my Chase, Wilechase, and it's a female, so oops. I'm also Scarfed on this thing. I thought he might have switched out, which is why I went for the Crunch as opposed to the Outrage. And I guess he chose to stay in, go for the Volt Switch, or he wasn't really expecting me to be Scarfed in the first place, which is alright. So he goes into Croagunk, which means since Croagunk is part Dark, I have to switch out because I'm choiced and locked into the Dark type move. So I figure the best option here, because I'm expecting the Fake Out, is to go into Bronzer. And as I go into Bronzer, I know he has Dark Pulse, but I know that I can take hits from it. So, see, Bronzer right there didn't even take that much from it, even though I did get the flinch. I can finally set up my rocks right now, which I feel like is really important in any tier that you play, even if it is Little Cup, because really any amount of damage counts in the end. So he does set up his own rocks, and I feel like this is a good opportunity for me to go for Toxic, because I know that Lileep can be especially defensive, I believe, and they're usually really, They're usually really defensive and stally, and I don't really see offensive sets much, so I figured Toxic is going to be the best option unless he carries Rest, which would suck a lot. But even so, as long as I keep my Mienfoo and basically any physical fighting types, I don't think I should have too much of a problem. And as always, Wilechase does nothing in any game that he's in, and that's perfectly fine because we all know Chase never does shit in any game or in life in general. So I thought that going into Mienfoo would scare him out because I have the high jump kick or drain punch, so I figured, okay, maybe he'd want to switch out. That's why I went for the U-turn. But since U-turn was also super effective, it didn't end up being that bad. So it was still fairly decent play on my part. While he's still taking Toxic damage, I just decided to stall him out an extra turn by going for the Fake Out. Otherwise, if he wasn't Toxic, there would be no point in really going for the Fake Out, but the fact that he's taking Toxic damage is really what's getting to it. So I felt like I couldn't kill him off with a Vacuum Wave at that amount of health, and I was scared that he might have Recover or some form of recovery, basically. I fell for it here, and I went for the Sucker Punch because I was thinking, okay, maybe he has, not maybe, I actually was thinking he might go for a sub. I don't know why I didn't follow my gut instinct. And also here, the fact that I didn't just go for the Dark Pulse kind of irritates me because I felt like instead, actually, I'm not the Dark Pulse, I'm sorry. Instead of going for the Sucker Punch again, I kind of switched out and sacked my bronzer, which I thought I could have done differently if I stayed into Krogunk right now, because I'm going back into it anyway, so I figured I'm probably better off going for the Sucker Punch again, and he's going to attack me, I'm going to take damage. I think I live, I'm not entirely sure, I'm pretty sure I live, and then, yeah, I do live. I think I can live about 2 hits, so here I think I'm not going to fall for it again. I thought he was going to go for the substitute again. And that Oranberry is so annoying, so I just went for the Dark Pulse straight off the bat here, especially since I think that after the last attack, it feels like it could be a 2-hit KO, possibly. Like, I don't run calcs or anything, so I'm not entirely sure, but as it turns out, it's gonna kill me, so it's whatever. As long as he doesn't have a sub up, I thought it was okay. So going to my other Scarf Pokemon, Sasha, and I decided to go for the Water Spout, just hoping it's going to take it out. I'm like, oh, thank God. Sasha finally does work. She takes out something. And, oh, wow, it's male. Oops. So, since he goes into Krogunk, I think it has Dry Skin. I'm better off switching out and having him just fake out the Mienfoo, especially since I have Regenerator. I can just gain that health back and whatever I took. So he does have Vacuum Wave, and I do live it, and the thing is, I didn't have anything to hit it with, which is why I'm not really sure why I went into Mienfoo in the first place. That was like a bad idea in general, so maybe because I had to sack something. So here I go into my shelter, and I don't carry a White Herb like most of them do. Instead, I decide to carry an Eviolite. I don't know. I honestly have no preference. I feel like it kind of works out better. I'm honestly not that sure. But I don't mind having the Eviolite instead. And here I go for Ice Shard because I was expecting him to go for the Sucker Punch here. Or the Vacuum Wave, and I figure my priority would outweigh his priority. So that worked out well. The only thing is the fact that Shelter is solely a water type. I'm not getting stabbed from any of my ice moves. So unfortunately, it doesn't work out too well there, especially since he's just going to go for the Brick Break and take me out. As long as he didn't set up a Swords Dance or anything, I felt like I was okay. He said he was gonna contemplate going for the Sucker Punch, but you know, he thought I was gonna go for the Ice Shard, just like he did here. And here, I was actually expecting him to go for the Sucker Punch, so I'm like, Hydro Pump, please don't miss, because the lower health you are, the less Water Spout does. So I was stuck going into Hydro Pump, and here I'm like, come on, okay, Chinchou, you're at low health, Sasha, please do work and kill it. But it leaves it at not a lot, which I'm kind of not surprised with. But, you know, I thought it was a pretty good ending to this match. If Sasha actually did work, I would have been happy, but, oh well, it's Sasha. And if you were at the stream when this was happening, it was with Chase and Tom. This was a wonderful, fun time, this whole match. So, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you're expecting more Little Cup from me, and, because I do have a couple battles backed up. I've got some NU, OU, UU, and I think it'll be a fun time. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys know that I still love you, and I'm still doing Yu-Gi-Oh! And learning. So that's about all that's going on with my life. And as always, I love you guys, and I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day.